Hello, my name is Sydney Bass, and you have found the From Hobby to Full-Time podcast. We are a podcast for personal stylists who are ready to take their side hustle a lot more seriously. I am your host, Sydney Bass. I'm a personal stylist and business strategist, creator of the Founders Club, which is an online monthly membership community for personal stylists looking to start, grow, and launch their personal styling businesses. Welcome. If you are here, we are in the middle of a 4-part series on social media. We have talked about social media boundaries and house rules. We have talked about how to set your own personal boundaries when it comes to using social media. And in today's episode, I want to talk about how to implement social media strategies that will help you plan your content without feeling overwhelmed. That is one of the number one question that I get when it comes to social media. Because as personal stylists, this is our primary marketing tool, right? We are on social media, we are on stories. Instagram and the photos are perfect for what we do as a business because you can literally demonstrate what it is you do and how you do it. But it is also overwhelming because you feel like you have to be on all of the time. So if you have listened to part 2 of this podcast series, which I would encourage you to go back and listen to part 1 and part 2 before you get here, then you will already have a few boundaries in place that are going to help you with that, which is number 1, using some sort of scheduling tool to schedule. And we are going to talk about 3 strategies so that you can plan your social media and get rid of the overwhelm. So let's dive right in. Number 1. Create themes for your social content and set days for when you want to schedule and post. So this goes back to having that social media scheduling tool. And it really relies on you following a calendar, but it's really, really easy. And I want to give you an example. So for the Personal Stylist Network, I use the following set, like themes, or you can think of this as a template that you use every week for your social media. So Monday, I share a quote, a business quote. Tuesdays are sometimes tips or it's a stylist takeover. Wednesdays could be a day in the life. Actually, for me on Personal Stylist Network, Wednesdays is the podcast. Thursdays is usually some sort of business tip. And then Fridays, I usually share a brand feature of somebody, a really awesome brand that I think you all should know as stylists. So because I have these themes and templates, it really allows my brain to breathe a sigh of relief because it already knows what content I'm going to create. I don't have to necessarily create whole new content, right? I have to create new content for the themes, but the themes allow me to know, oh, I just need to create 4 quotes. I need to create 4 tips. I need to find 4 brand features. And this is really going to play into our 3rd tip when we get to it in a few minutes. But I want you to implement themes and templates in your business because then you don't have to work as hard. You are literally then just able to connect to your creativity and think about, ooh, what awesome quote do I want to have this time? If you're doing a day in the life, then you can say, ooh, what like fun thing about my day or what fun thing do I want to share? And you can also start to stockpile things that fit into your template and your themes, right? So if I know every Monday I am sharing a cool business quote, I can keep a note in my phone or a Google Doc or a Google Drive folder that is all about quotes. And when I find a cool quote that I think would be awesome, I can pull it and put it in there. So then that way, when it's time for me to create things, I already have a running list of some content that I can pull from. Again, what this is doing is it's giving your brain a break, literally giving your brain a break, because you do not have to pull content from thin air every time you go to create something. You can also implement templates into your newsletters, right? You could have set chunks in your newsletter for templates that you use every single month, right? It can be, here's a style tip, here's what I wore, here's a brand I'm loving, here's a trend of the month. And then you just repeat that every single month. Going back to Instagram though, I do want to iterate that you do not have to post to your feed 5 days a week. With Instagram stories, that has really allowed us to show up on that platform in a daily basis in a little more relaxed way. And the feed is a little more structured. So I would recommend that you do post at least 3 times a week on your feed, because I believe that Instagram is the new business card. So when you meet someone or you give someone your information, a lot of times they're asking you, oh, what's your Instagram handle? I'll just go follow you there. So you want to have an awesome feed, but you do not have to post 5 days a week, especially if that's overwhelming or you haven't gotten down a really good flow yet for doing that. But you do need to show up in stories daily. And you can also create themes or templates around your stories. So one thing you can do is always share like your morning routine and your coffee. You can share your morning workflow. You can share how you end your day, and you can share a fun snippet about something you're doing that's not work related, right? So you can kind of implement all of these things into every aspect of your social media, and it will make it so much easier to then produce the content, okay? So number 1 is creating themes and templates. Number 2 is to plan month-long topics. I love creating content around a theme and then carrying that theme into a month's worth of social media content. So for example, on this very podcast, you are on part 3 of a 4-part theme about social media. There are so many reasons why this is helpful, and one of them we will talk about in our 3rd tip. But what it does, again, it gives my brain a break. It lets me know that, hey, I am going to be talking about social media all week long. So I have 4 opportunities, or all month long, 4 opportunities to really do a deep dive into one topic. What do I want to share? It allows you to go much deeper and much longer. So for example, you can spend a whole month talking about body shape, or a whole month talking about sustainable, capsule, ethical wardrobes, or a whole month on plus size fashion. You can then do so much within that it really puts your brain on this creative, juicy roll to start creating and getting in the flow of that content. So that leads me into tip number 3, which is to time block and chunk your social media planning. So once you've got your themes and your template down and you know what you want to talk about, it is ideal that you can sit down and do a month's worth of planning for your social media at a time, or at the very least, an hour a week to do your next week's content. So I'm going to actually advocate that you do everything for a month at a time, because I'm going to show you the numbers and you're going to get 6 more hours in your day when you do that. So let me give you an example of what this would look like. For the Personal Stylist Network, I use Canva to create some Instagram graphics, specifically the quotes or the brand features. So since I already have a template ready, and I know when I go to create my Instagram content that, for example, for the month of August, I need 5 quotes because there's 5 Mondays. So I can go do some quick Google searches. I can find some quotes. I can pull them all into the same template, right? I can make a duplicate of that template. I can just adjust the quote. Then I can download them, and then I can upload them into Planoly, and then I can schedule them, write my captions, and I'm good to go for a month's worth of my quotes. Now, I do 5 posts a week, so I would need to then replicate that. But what that is doing by batching that, again, I am doing one task and one task only in a block of time, and it lets me focus, it lets me get it done, and it again saves me about 6 hours out of a month when I do it that way. So another example, I record all of my podcasts in one batch. So I like to, again, do a month's worth of stuff at a time, because then it frees me up the rest of the month to do so much else, even though it does take half a day or 4 hours or so for me to create 4 podcasts. But when I record them all together, I am in the flow and I'm saving myself so much time, and everything is connected, and I can make sure that I'm not dipping in and out and multitasking. So we've talked about this flow state a lot, and there's a reason experts really love the time chunking, or the time blocking, and the chunking things all at once. Multitasking doesn't work. When you multitask, obviously your brain is on multiple things at one time, and so you are never truly focused on doing one thing to completion, doing it well, and then moving on to the next. When you time block things and chunk them, So when I record all of my podcasts at one time, I am in podcast mode. I'm not thinking about Instagram. I'm not thinking about the client consults that I have. And I have time blocked it. So it's on my calendar for a block of time, right? That's literally what time blocking means. You put a block of time on your calendar, 3 to 4 hours. So from 12 to 4, or right now I'm doing this from like 2 to 5, 2 to 6. That is my time block to do all of my podcasts. And all of my podcasts are going to be done for the month of August. When you multitask and you do like 30 minutes here, an hour there, you are literally robbing yourself of your productivity, and you are like taking hours that you could use to do something else. So think about how I used to do my Instagram and podcast was like an hour a week, and I would be doing each of those things every single week, spending about an hour. So say for Instagram, it takes me an hour to plan out the 5 posts a week. So I would need to invest about 4 hours to do all of my Instagrams. And sorry, I'm like not good at math here. Let me back up and redo this. Let me just read my notes. Say if you were doing 12 to 25 social media posts every month. So that is on average either doing 3 posts a week or 5 posts a week. You will need to probably for either one of those really invest half a day. So let's say 4 hours to do that. But if you did all 12 Instagram posts on the day of that they were due, so that is figuring out what photo you want, thinking about the caption, seeing if it looks good in your feed, getting the hashtags, writing it out, posting it in your feed, that probably will take you an hour when you're doing it in and of itself, in isolation, in a silo. So if you're doing 12 posts in a month and it takes you an hour to do them, that's 12 hours of time that you have now spent creating content for Instagram, when if you had condensed that into a 4-hour time block, is that 6 hours? That's 8 hours. You actually get 8 hours when you do it this way, right? Because 12 minus 4 is 8. So you can spend 4 hours and you're in the mode, right? You are already thinking about it. The content is flowing. Like it's so easy for you to just schedule, replicate hashtags, find the images, because you're already doing that. You're not having to context switch from things to things and lose hours. So you're going to take up either more of a half a day or a whole day for your social media and content planning, but you are going to gain double, if not triple, the amount of hours back. And then you can use those hours to either engage more with your community. You can use that to schedule more client calls. You can actually have time to do that project you've been putting off. And it's literally as simple as doing a month's worth of something at a time. And I know it sounds overwhelming, but you can do it. You just have to put it on your calendar. Now, my challenge to you is, because when this episode goes live, we will actually be halfway through August 2020 if you're listening to it live. So now is the actual perfect time for you to get a day on your calendar for the end of August dedicated to creating your social media plan for September. Even if you have never done this before and you don't have themes, you don't have topics, you may spend a little bit longer in this first initial strategy planning meeting, because you have to think about your themes. You have to think about what you're going to post on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday through Friday, and what your topic is going to be. But once you have that template, that theme set, it's going to make all your subsequent months so much quicker and so much faster. And you will feel more energized for using this platform and not feeling like it is something that you have to do and that it is a drag on your productivity. Instagram is a tool for your business. It is not a piece of technology that should control you. So these 3 tips, if you can implement them, will help you take back your time, produce more, and create better. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you are listening to this podcast right now during the month of August and you have just a few weeks left to get a really fun gift that we are giving all new members. So what that is a 2-week trial for $1. This special gift runs through August 28th. You can join anytime through there and pay just $1, and you'll get instant access to our templates, resources, and action plans that will help you start or grow your personal styling business. You will also get access to our Facebook, our community of personal stylists from all over the world. and you will learn so much, I promise. So please note, this is a recurring subscription. Once your trial is over, you will automatically be billed for the next month at $55 unless you cancel beforehand. There are no refunds available once the month has been processed, so you will get to enjoy the access, enjoy the resources, and put it on your calendar to cancel the next month if you find that it's not serving you or it is not information that will help or grow your business. I can guarantee you there is something in there that is going to be worth that to you, if not like 10 times the value, because it's that good. So if you want to get that trial, the easiest way to do it is visit the link in my bio. If you are online, you can go to the podcast notes for the show, or you can visit personalstylistnetwork.mykajabi, kajabi.com/join the Founders Club. So thank you again so much for tuning into this 4-part series. We have our last part of the series coming up next week, and we are going to be talking about strategies for serving, not selling, which pro tip is actually going to sell for you. So tune in and we'll see you there. Bye.